go against one of the 613.
Yeah.
This is different than, let's say, having a operation, let's say, to take out your
cancer. You got cancer of the balls.
Prostate.
Yeah, prostate.
Because you take out a prostate, you could theoretically make a person infertile. But you're allowed to do that because it's not inside the penis or the balls. It's inside the body, so that's one thing. And also, usually, it's done to your health risk to save your life, and therefore it's not a problem at all. So that's not a problem. You're allowed to do that, and you're still allowed to be with your wife or get married. That's not a problem. But if you go and get a vasectomy, then not only is it go against 1613, but then you can't even get married anyway. So to get a vasectomy in order to get married, go ahead, self-defeating.
So did the woman doctor find it unusual that you kept going back every 3 months to have your prostate checked by her?
I didn't go every 3 months. I went every 3 days. I kept saying, "Can you check again? Can you check again?"
I feel like I've got cancer back there.
Yeah.
You just like feel around. Okay.
I go back to, by the way, to the urologist in 2 weeks.
How are your balls doing?
Well, we're going to find out.
Okay.
I'm on what do you call it? Socialized medicine, public health. Let me tell you how it works. You go in April, the first week of April, and they find your cysts in your balls, and they give you, here's some aspirin, and then 6 months later you'll see the urologist. 6 months later, I'm gonna finally see the urologist. Like, what's going on with your ball sack? Like, I don't know. I'm on the county health plan. I have to just grin and bear it with a week's worth of aspirin over the next 6 months. So anybody who's like, public medical, whatever it is, public socialized medicine, good thing. Try it here and see how you like it, right? See how you go for it.
Regarding the descendants of Amnon and Moab, according to Deuteronomy chapter 23, you shall not seek their peace or their welfare all your days forever. Not exactly a kumbaya moment.
Right, because Judaism and Christianity are not the same. The idea forgive, how can you hold a grudge against them? Oh, you have a terrible God if you follow that. And that's all Christianity. That's Christianized view of Judaism. By the way, I just want to go for a quick rant on that same topic. A similar topic. That I've seen a lot where, like, apologetics. I need to apologize for what the Torah says because the Torah says some pretty mean things. Right, so let's pretend it doesn't say that, and let's come up with some new ideas. Like we talked about it before about that rabbi who said, like, I can't say
morning blessing. Thank you, God, for not making me a woman.
I apologize on behalf of the Jewish people for that one. And it's like, you know what? God doesn't need you to apologize for him. Okay, He wrote the Torah, and what He says goes. So if you're like a weak in the need, apologist, who's afraid of that, then maybe that Judaism is not for you and just leave altogether. But do us a favor and don't start spewing heresy. Don't start apologizing for Torah. Don't start telling us that, it was a mistake and it doesn't really mean that and you're allowed to do X, Y, and Z. Okay? Don't start saying that, I'm afraid to... Rashi's not up to date with the new times because today it's different because the women... we can't say these kind of things. We can't quote Rashi in front of the women because it's going to offend them. We don't need your apologetics. God said a certain thing about Mount Sinai, and if that offends people, if that offends the good graces and the sensitivities of some of our liberal progressives, then that's too damn bad, okay? Let them at least understand what Torah says, and if they have a problem with that, let them leave. But do not drag down Torah to meet them and turn Torah into something that it's not. Pervert Judaism and then sell it to them this watered down apologetics because it's more tasty and palatable. Okay? You're not selling to them Judaism. You're selling to them some sort of form of perverted heresy. Okay, go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 18, there shall not be a promiscuous woman among the daughters of Israel. Wow. How times have changed.
By the way, when I make a speech like that, I lose at least 15 of your viewers. Go ahead.
The most comprehensive sex survey conducted by the University of Chicago, released in 1994, found that Jews were the most promiscuous group in America and Catholics the least.
That cannot be possible.
Of all the items on a long list of sexual practices, only 3 were considered appealing by more than a tiny fraction of heterosexual Americans, and of those 3, only 1 stood out. Heterosexuals overwhelmingly find vaginal intercourse appealing, and they include it in almost every sexual encounter, but no other practice is almost universally desired. Watching a partner undress is a distant second in appeal, followed by oral sex.
I call bullshit. I call bullshit right now. You know why? Because women talk about this a lot. They would prefer oral sex to vaginal sex. Because women get off, all women get off orally, but they don't necessarily get off by penile penetration. So to say, oh, no other practice is universally desired, this doesn't make sense. Who did they talk to? A bunch of horny frat boys? You know, it's like, it just doesn't make sense. Okay? They could not have talked to any females because all females want oral sex. And any guy who doesn't want a blowjob from, you know, is like, it must have been a Seventh-day Adventist or something. I don't understand this.
Do you feel comfortable giving women oral sex, or do you feel like that's forbidden to you?
Who says, like, what? What?
Do you feel okay with giving a woman oral sex?
In the present, like right now, I'm going home and I'm doing that?
Yeah, do you feel okay with doing that?
I'm not having sex.
I know, but oral sex isn't sex, according to Rabbi Clinton. So do you, like, the governor said eating's not cheating when someone caught him eating someone.
Okay.
Do you think eating's cheating?
I look forward to pleasing my wife.
But right now you don't feel comfortable going home and chowing down.
But oral sex is not something I'm turned off by. It's not like The Sopranos, right? We're like, oh, we don't do that. You know, it's like, I think that oral sex going down on a woman. This is going to bring in the chicks for me. See, you turn them away, right? I think that's the Torah commands guys to do that, and that's why Jewish men make better lovers, because we have to please our wives by doing that with them. So that's something that a Jewish guy should want to do.
Deuteronomy 23:19, you shall not bring a harlot's hire or the exchange for a dog to the house of Hashem. What's wrong with a dog? Now, you don't see many Jews bringing their dogs to shul, and Jews traditionally have not owned pets. But what does this verse mean when it says, you shall not bring exchange for a dog to the house of Hashem?
Doesn't that mean that you 23:19, can I look that up?
Yeah. So I'll just talk about sex while you look that up.
Isn't that what you always do?
So, according to this survey, there are a lot fewer active homosexuals in America than the oft-repeated 1 in 10. Only 2.7% of men and 1.3% of women report that they had homosexual sex in the past year. Roman Catholic, just concentrate 2319.
Now, I need to look the number.
2319.
Okay.
Roman Catholics are the most likely to be virgins, 4%, and Jews to have the most sex partners. 34% of Jews had 10 or more sex partners. So like the average Jew had about 8 sex partners in a lifetime, according to the survey. The average like Catholic and Protestant had 2 or 3. The women most likely to achieve orgasm each and every time were conservative Protestants.
You know why?
Just concentrate on finding your... So, Deuteronomy chapter 24:5 says a man should gladden his wife. Does this primarily mean oral sex? Does this primarily mean sex? Or are there other equally important ways that a man can gladden his wife, such as by hiring for her an illegal Central American maid? Which such country produces the best maids? Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Guatemala, or El Salvador? Or should one follow the tradition and go Mexican? If you make a loan, you can't enter someone's home to take a security. You must respect the person's dignity. Wait outside.
Oh, this is interesting.
Go ahead.
The Clay Yoker has... There's no Rashi on this at all. Okay? It's like expected so obvious Rashi would mention. Clay Yoker says, also the dogs. Why? Because they get in